Alright, in this particular, these kind of problems, we are going to determine whether the graph is that of a function. If it is, then we're going to find domain, range, intercepts, and symmetry. So first of all, when we looked at the first graph here, I think you'll notice it passes vertical line tests. Like if you were to drop a vertical line, it only crosses it in one place, okay? So it passes vertical line tests, so we could say, yes, it is a function, okay? Then they ask me to find domain and range. If it's a function, you have to find domain and range. So for domain, how far to the left does it go? Well, it goes to negative pi, including negative pi, all the way to the right side to pi, and that's including pi, all right? The range, you go bottom to top, and the lowest it goes is -1, and the highest it goes is +1. All right, and then they asked me to find intercepts. All right, I was just looking, I didn't label everything really well. If there are 4 tick marks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one is pi, that means each tick mark is 1/4 of a pi. So this tick mark is pi over 4. This is 2 pi over 4, or pi over 2. This would be 3 pi over 4. And this is pi, 4 pi over 4. So this would be negative pi over 4 right here. And this is negative pi over 2. And this is negative 3 pi over 4. All right, because they asked me to find the intercepts, and if I'm going to find the intercepts, I need to know where they cross the axis, okay? So the first intercept is right here. So for intercepts, I would say this is negative 3 pi over 4, comma 0. And the next one is negative pi over 4, 0. And then the y-intercept looks to be just 0, -1, and then the next one, x-intercept, is pi over 4, 0, and the next one is 3 pi over 4, 0. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make them so many, but yeah, there are 5 intercepts. All right, the next thing they asked me is what kind of symmetry does it have? Symmetry. And we're checking for symmetry on x-axis, y-axis, and origin, okay? 3 things. So, does it have symmetry on the x-axis? If you were to fold the x-axis, would it see its reflection on the other side? Like if you fold this down, does it see itself? No. How about if you fold the y-axis? Would it see a reflection of itself on the other side? Fold the y-axis? Oh, I think so. So I think, yes, it does have symmetry in the x-axis or in the y-axis. And lastly, the origin, does it have symmetry in the origin? If you folded it over the x and then folded it again over the y, would it be on top of itself? No. These are not, if they're a function, I'll tell you now, they're never going to have symmetry on the x-axis because it can't be a function to have symmetry on the x-axis. You either have symmetry on the y-axis or the origin, or you don't have any symmetry at all. So then the origin is going to be no. All right, so we have symmetry on the y-axis. Those are our intercepts and our domain and range. I think we're done with that one. All right, let's look at our next problem here. It's we have to determine if it's a function, yes or no. If you were to drop a vertical line, it looks to me like it hits it in 2 places. If it hits it in more than once, or more than one time, it's not a function. So we just have to say not a function. And then, yay, we don't even have to write anything else. You just have to say not a function.